今天何老师要教给大家怎么包饺子，怎么准备饺子馅儿和饺子皮。I'm going to teach you how to make dumplings today. All the ingredients on the table. So this one is bread machine, and you can use the dough setting to make the dough, or you can use this to mix your dough with chopsticks or with your hand. This is the food processor. You can chop your cabbage, vegetables, you can chop celery, or you can chop napa or zucchini, whatever the vegetable you like to mix with the meat. Soy sauce, vegetable oil, salt, pepper, sesame oil, and this type of flour. You can use all-purpose flour from Publix, Walmart, Kroger, any type of all-purpose flour. This one is option. You don't have to use it. And then this time I'm going to use Chinese napa. You can do the zucchini. And for the meat, you can use pork, ground pork, 1 pound of ground pork, or chicken breast, or any type of chicken meat, boneless chicken meat, ground chicken, or beef. Okay, sometimes I like the beef flavor, and sometimes I add a little bit shrimp, chopped shrimp, into the meat. Or you can add an egg, scrambled egg, put inside. You can have all the ingredient nutritions. It's good for your daily diet. Okay, those are the preparation or ingredients I'm gonna put in my dumpling. Okay, now next steps, I'm gonna show you how to prepare the meat first. This is the first video. The second video, I'm gonna show you how to prepare the meat. So the second step is to prepare the meat. First of all, you are going to mix with soy sauce, any type of soy sauce. Okay, you put about 1.5 tablespoons soy sauce into your meat, ground chicken, ground beef, ground pork. You can mix with scrambled egg. You can mix with shrimp, chopped shrimp. And then you put a little bit pepper, 1 teaspoon pepper, and then about 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I love sesame oil, the flavor. Any type of cooking, I put sesame oil. Okay, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and you're gonna put 1 tablespoon of cooking oil into the meat. 1 tablespoon. Here we go. And then you mix them well. One direction, you just stir it. Make sure you do one direction. You stir well. You stir about 2 minutes. Make sure all the meat get enough flavor. Make sure. Sometimes, people add some water in it, or chicken broth into their meat to make sure they have good enough fragrance or flavors. So you stir it well. And then you can chop a little bit of scallion, spring onion, chop a little bit into the meat. And you put the meat on the side. Now you need to prepare the dough. Okay, if you don't have ground chicken or ground pork, and then you use the food processor to chop your meat, chop the pork or chop the chicken breast, and to prepare your 1 pound of meat. So I'm gonna stir more. So make sure it's sticky. The meat is sticky and then it's full of fragrance, full of flavor from sesame oil, from pepper, and from salt. And then you see it's not sticky enough yet by this time. So you're gonna stir more. Same direction, okay? Use chopsticks, or you put your gloves on, you can use your hand. And make sure, mix them well. Okay, that's how you prepare the meat. I haven't put my scallion yet, but I'm going to. So the second step is to prepare the dough, and I'm going to use my bread machine to use the dough. Number 7 is a dough. And then I put 4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, into this machine, and then I put 1 cup of water inside. So I press the start, and it starts to stir. Okay, this is almost done. And then you let the dough set for a while. But if you don't have this type of the bread machine, you can do your hand making. So you have 4 cups of flour and 1 cup of water. You slowly pour the water inside and use the chopsticks stir. Pour slowly. And then pour inside. Pour more water. Okay, slowly, slowly. And then make sure the water is help the flour stick together. It's almost okay. And now you take out the chopsticks and use your hand. Use your hand and just grab the wet flour all make sure together. Squeeze them all together. It's okay. Make sure your hands clean. It's kind of fun to do this. See, it's about all mixed together. If you think it's kind of dry, it's 4 cups of flour and 1 cup of water. It should be enough. And then you start to press them together. It's almost, it's like clay, Play-Dohs. And make sure you keep your hands clean and keep the bowl clean by the end. And then once you're done the dough, you just let the dough set. Put on the side and put a lid to make it moisture. You don't want to leave in the air, let it like too dry, because next step you are going to prepare the stuffing, chop the vegetables. The 4th step to prepare the stuffing. See the meat. I mixed with a little bit spring onion, scallion. I use the leaves part. I chop into small pieces, and I add sweet corn. Like my family love the sweet corn. Put in the dumpling. So I drain the 4 tablespoons, about like this much, 4 tablespoons. Okay, each tablespoon like this much, and then put into the mixed meat with the sauce. And then I cut a little bit of cilantro. We love cilantros, but you don't put cilantro in here inside of the meat yet, because cilantro, once you put inside, it's released too much like juice. So you want to wait. Here is the dough. I prepared 2. So this one has like a 5 cup of flour. This one has a 4 cup of flour. This one I made it with my hand. 4 cup of flour with 1 cup of the water, and then this 5. It's like a little bit more than 1.5 cup of water. But if you just, when you mix them, it's too sticky. You want to add either more flour. If it's too dry, you add a little bit more water. But the amount of water is just 4 cup of flours and then 1 cup of water. Okay, and then you put on the side. You cover the lid. You let it wait. Same thing as the meat. Now you prepare the vegetables. I love napa. Some people say, can I use celery? Yes. Celery, napa, or zucchini. Zucchini tastes really good. But zucchini, too much water in the zucchini. Once you make shredded zucchini, you have to squeeze the juice out of the zucchini vegetable. Same thing as napa. But cabbage doesn't release that much water. So cabbage is kind of dry. That's why we always make cabbage in our classroom. So we don't have to worry about the stuffing is too watery. Here I use food processor. So if you don't have this food processor, you can just use your hand, chop it. Like you cut it into the small pieces, okay, and then you chop it. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to use a food processor. Okay, you don't just press high or low, you press the pause. So you let it spin, and then pause, then pause. You see the size, right? You don't want it too squishy. You still want to see the shape, the dice. Okay, a little bit more. I only use the stem of the napa because I like the napa leaves into my soup or my hot pot. I don't want put into the dumpling because the leaf has more juice, or the leaf is a waste to put the dumpling. I rather put in my hot pot. A little bit more. Be careful when you use this, okay? Because you might hurt your finger, and you unplug the power, and then you open it. You want to open to see how the little dice. See, it's about this. That's good enough. You don't want to make it too like a smooshy. Okay. And somebody said, what if I want to chop it? I don't have food processor or a blender. Because blender, you don't want it to, you still use a pause blender. Don't make it too like a muddy. Okay, when you do this, you you shred it, or you cut into slice, and then you chop it. I know it's gonna be all over the place. Yeah. And then once you're done chopping, and then you want to take them out, I only do this part. I'm not gonna make a big mess. So it's gonna be really messy when you chop the cabbage. Okay. So I'm only demonstrate this part, okay? Because you have to do like this, chop a lot, and gonna splash all over the place. It's already, see, splashing. And you put in the center, you chop more. And then I'm gonna show you how to do this. So this is blended cabbage or napa, and you take the knife out. Be careful, the knife is really sharp, really, really sharp. And then you want to get the vegetable out, and you use both hands, squeeze the water out. You want to squeeze most of the water out. Otherwise, when you wrap the dumpling, it's too watery. The stuffing is too watery. It's not good. Okay. You put inside of the meat. Okay. How much the cabbage or vegetable? Depends. If you're a meat lover, for example, if you're a meat lover, 1 pound of meat, you put 2 or 3 cup of the vegetable into your meat. But if you like vegetable more than meat, like me, so I put lots of vegetable. I only can use my one hand because I'm recording. So when you do it, you use both hands. Okay, squeeze as much as it. That's kind of exercise, right? So you squeeze the water, the juice out of the vegetable as much as you can. Okay, here, and then once you're done, you mix them. You mix them well. And then you add the cilantro. It's optional, or corn, right? So I have the corn and then cilantro. I will do cilantro last. When you're about to make your dumpling, and then you add the cilantro in. So you don't add it too early because cilantro is kind of watery, and you won't be able to squeeze the cilantro. So you do at the end. Okay, so I'll turn off the video and then record how we make dumplings. That's how you prepare the stuffing. Make sure you mix well. And then when you're ready to mix all the vegetable and meat together, you add a little bit salt. How do you tell if it's salty enough? For me, once I finish the mixing it, I like to use a little bit of dough to make a dumpling, to taste it, to cook it, to boil it. And then I will taste it, whether it's salty enough or enough flavor. So I'll just cook it. Or you can use 1 spoon, right? Tablespoon, you put 1 spoon of the stuffing mixture, and you put it on the plate, use a microwave to cook it, like for 30 seconds or a minute. Make sure it's well cooked. You don't want to eat the raw meat. And then you try the flavor if it's enough. So that's how you prepare the stuffing. So I will record myself to cook the dumplings, to wrap the dumplings later. And that's part, like most of you have done already, many times, especially in my 8th grade, right? We did 4 times, 5 times per year. But this quarter we couldn't do it. I'm showing you the whole thing so you can make it for your family. This is the 5th steps. This you are going to make dumpling, to wrap dumpling. This is the meat. I add all the things together, the cabbage, napa, and squeeze the water, and then the corn and cilantro. I add cilantro. I tasted it a little bit unsalty, so I add a little bit salt in it. And here's you prepare the dough. You roll the dough, press it, and then use a cutter to cut it. And the size is about the thumb of your hand, or a little bit bigger than your hand. I always say this type of the packing every time I buy the large portion of meat. So you add a little bit of flour, just make sure it's not that sticky, and you put your wrapped dumpling in here. And when you cook dumplings, use cutter, cut it. Like this, the thumb size. Or for me, like when we do it in the class, I just use this one because I did it a lot, so I know the size. Either way, you can cut it, use a knife, or use this cutter. And then you put the flour on top of it. Make sure it's not that sticky. And then you're about to roll it. This roller, you can find it in any type of the supermarket. You'll roll it and turn, roll and turn, roll and turn, roll and turn, roll and turn. It's the size about your palm. Don't make it too small or too big. Okay, you don't want to combine two dough together because they won't be able to get things cooked at the same time. And you put the meat in the center. You can use a spoon. I love to use chopsticks. So put the meat in the center and then fold it. Fold the edge. Make sure it leave the meat in the center. And then fold the edge, and then you use your hand, touch the meat. Fold the edge, and this is one dumpling. The shape, right? You can see the shape like a half moon. You put right here. When you want to eat dumpling or wonton, you can pinch two edge together, two corner together. You make wonton. And then the different way to eat wonton, you don't dip into dipping sauce, but you put into chicken broth or soup, chicken soup, or you can egg drop soup. That's wonton. It's the same thing, same way to cook, but you fold it at the end for the corner. Okay, let me do one more dumplings. And we did it many times in classroom, so you should know how to do it. Roll and turn, roll and turn. Size of your palm. And then you add the meat to the center. If it's too much, just scoop it out. Press the edge, press the right side, and you made another one. Okay, that's how you make dumplings, or that's how you make wontons. Okay. Now this is the last step. I'm making around 15 pot stickers. So when you do the pot sticker, you heat up the pan, non-stick pan, and put 1 tablespoon of oil into the pan, and then spread them out. You put dumpling like this shape. Okay, and you cover the lid. Cover the lid. Wait until it's sizzling. So on this side, I'm cooking and boiling the dumplings. So this one's called a pot sticker, right? Guotie pot sticker. And then this one, you boil them. You warm up half pot of water. You wait until it's boiling. And then you drop around 30 dumplings inside. So I'm doing both at the same time. Okay. So you do with your hand. Be careful when you drop the dumpling. So I'm about to put 30. And you stir it gently. You don't want to cut your dumpling. So the other side of the guotie pot sticker still cooking. And because the pot need to heat up. So now how many? 5? Good. 6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13、14、15、16, and then you need to stir. Make sure it's floating. 17、18、19、20、21、22、23、24、25、26、27、28、29、30. Okay, I only do 30. If you do too many and the water not that clear and it's kind of too crowded. I did 5 cups of all-purpose flour, right? I still have some leftover dough, so I freeze the dough into the Ziploc bag. I put it in the freezer. Just next time when I make more dumplings, I'm gonna unfreeze it the night before, and then I don't have to do the dough anymore. So just put in the freezer and in the Ziploc bag, and then for dumpling, once you drop all 30 in here in the big pot, and then you want to cover the lid, and then you want to take care of your pot sticker. You shake the pan, make sure. Okay, and also you want to make sure everywhere has a little bit of oil. Okay, you can hear it's kind of a crunchy on the bottom already. And then you want to add a little bit of water. How do you get water? You can get cold water. You can get the water from this side. So since I'm just cooking both at the same time, so I can get water. So I would just, 1 cup of water should be enough. Okay, that should be enough. And then you want to turn the heat to medium and then cover the lid because the bottom already it's fried, pan fried. And then put the stove into medium. Cover the lid. During next around 10 minutes, you don't open the lid, okay? You just want it slowly cooked. You can smell the fragrance, the flavor. So in total, I made 65 dumplings, and then I also made 21 times. So in 80, right? That's 5 cups of the flour or 6 cups of flour, and then 1 pound of meat. Since I like vegetable, so I put lots of vegetable in it. Be careful when you do the vegetable. If you do for the beginner, you want to do like a cabbage, because cabbage doesn't have that much juice. So when you chop the cabbage, but if you do napa, when you do celery or zucchini, it release once you put the salt or flavor in, that release lots of juice or water. Okay, and then you turn the stove into medium or low, let it slowly cook. So when you cook dumpling, when it's all floating, right, you want to stir a little bit, and when it's all floating on the surface of the water, and you want to turn the stove to medium or low. See, this side is still cooking. I don't want to open it, because once you open it, the steam will go out, and I want to make sure the inside of dumpling is fully cooked. And also this here, low, medium low, or low, still boiling, right? When it's done, it's about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, okay, the dumpling, or like 1 cup. So this is dumpling, a boiled dumpling, and that's pot sticker. Okay, you want to shake it a little bit because you can see the water still when it's done, when the water all gone. And sometimes, I want it fried well, or beautiful golden color on the bottom. So by the end, if I don't see water anymore, you can see the steam. Okay. When you don't see that much water in the pot, you want to turn the power to high, okay? And then you want the oil, and then the juice from dumpling released to the pot, and you want it fried and crispy and golden color. So that's about it. And then you enjoy your dumpling. And some people said, oh, I like some dipping sauce. How do you make your dipping sauce? You mixed 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then one spoon of vinegar, and then sesame oil, a little bit sugar, and then like garlic, you chop the garlic and you mix it. If you want a hot paste or spicy sauce, you can chop a little bit garlic in it, sesame oil. And if you want a wonton, you can just use the soup from boiling dumpling, and you can put soy sauce, little bit soy sauce, like one half tablespoon, and a little bit vinegar, sesame oil. If you want shrimp flavor, you can put a little bit dry shrimp or cilantro into your soup. Okay, you just use the soup and cook your wonton, or you can put some egg drop in it if you don't like too much soy sauce flavor. Okay, that's about it. I can't wait to see your dumplings. I'm gonna record add all the video together, and I'm gonna put maybe subtitle or some narrating words into my video, and then you upload your cooking dumplings on Flipgrid. Okay, can't wait to see. Enjoy. Bye bye.